chippiness at half court between Ryan Howard and Caitlin Clark.
She's got time. Cloud defending. Clark trying to create some airspace. Long three at the horn. Oh!
Had Angel or anyone else done the exact same type of a foul to Caitlin, the storyline is different.
Last season, you came at me, took your shots, ran your mouths, you made it personal. This season, I'm not holding back. No mercy will be shown on the court.
Caitlin Clark didn't step into her sophomore season looking for comfort. After a record-shattering rookie year that shook the foundations of the WNBA, the spotlight on her only intensified. The chatter around her didn't fade, it exploded. Doubts started swirling. Was she really cut out for the league's grind? Could she handle the pressure, the physicality, the expectations? Veteran players didn't go easy. They challenged her at every turn, pushing her buttons and testing her resolve. And with every game, every play, every expression, Caitlin was scrutinized like never before. The welcome party was over. Now came the real test, but Clark didn't back down. She heard the criticism, saw the headlines, and felt the weight. Her answer? Not words, not excuses, just basketball. She returned to the court with fire in her eyes and a message in her game. She's here to compete, not coast. Whether it was draining deep threes, slicing through defenders with fearless drives, or dishing out laser-sharp passes, she attacked every moment. Even when the hits came hard and the floor met her often, Caitlin kept getting up. And when Angel Reese tried to shake her confidence, Clark stayed cool. No drama, just focus. She didn't flinch. She stood up, tightened her ponytail like it was armor, and charged back into the game with even more fire. This isn't a sophomore slump. It's her second chapter, and it's being written with purpose. Caitlin Clark isn't just here to survive. She's here to lead, to rewrite the storyline, and to shut down every doubt with action, not words. The pressure? She doesn't run from it. She feeds on it. And the more people question her, the more fiercely she answers. From the moment she stepped onto the court, there was a buzz, an energy you could feel in the air. The cameras didn't just follow her movements, they searched her face for any sign of doubt. Would she crack? Would she hold back? Not a chance. After a relentless off-season of headlines, social media noise, and endless scrutiny, many would have come out tentative. But Caitlin, she didn't need a warm-up. She came ready, because Caitlin Clark isn't like most players. She's built different, and now the entire league knows it.
From her catching around that 15-foot area, Clark connects! The first logo bomb of the season!
That opening shot wasn't just 3 points. It was a statement, a bold reminder that Caitlin Clark doesn't wait for permission to take control. She could have eased into the game, tested the tempo, or felt things out. But that's not her style. Instead, she rose up from deep, early, confident, and fearless, and let it fly. The moment the ball dropped through the net, the message was clear. She wasn't here to play it safe. She was here to strike first. And just like that, the tone was set. Caitlin Clark had returned, and she hadn't missed a beat. But if you thought her impact was just about scoring, you haven't been paying close enough attention. After that first bucket, she didn't chase the spotlight. She didn't force her shot or fall into heat check mode. What makes her so special is what came next. She slowed the game down, not physically, but mentally. She saw the floor like a chessboard, one move ahead of everyone else. And as defenders scrambled to stop her jumper, she found the gaps, not for herself, but for her teammates. That's where Caitlin becomes dangerous, not just as a shooter, but as a creator. When she draws defenders out, she doesn't just take advantage, she makes everyone around her better.
Both of these teams conditioning.
Maybe the broadcasters as well.
With a quick step, Caitlin scanned the defense, spotting the help defender closing in. In one smooth motion, she threw a perfect lob over the top, right where only her teammate could catch it on the run. It wasn't just any pass. It was a rare moment of precision and vision, especially in the first quarter of the season opener. But Caitlin sees the court differently. She's not just about scoring points. She's a master at breaking down defenses. She pressures you to collapse and then strikes the instant you overcommit. This pass wasn't just a flashy highlight, it was control. Calm, confident control. More importantly, it showed she's not just playing to quiet the critics. She's lifting up her whole team in the process. When Caitlin Clark balances sharp scoring with pinpoint passing, it's not just a headache for defenders, it's a nightmare. By now, it was clear. She wasn't just playing well, she was in full command. And sometimes, control doesn't show up in stats. You see it in how the entire floor shifts when she holds the ball. Caitlin wasn't just reacting to the defense, she was dictating every move, calling plays, setting screens, and controlling the game's rhythm. It didn't look like a player trying to fit in. It looked like a conductor leading a symphony.
Ends up caroming to Hull. Here's Clark in transition. Clark, oh, what a look! And Hull lays it in!
Leading in scoring is one thing. Leading with presence, that's something else entirely. And what Caitlin Clark was doing here went beyond just handling the ball. You could see it in her eyes, the way she read the floor, scanned the defense, and called out shifts before they even happened. This wasn't just playmaking, it was leadership. Caitlin doesn't demand attention, she earns it. Just having her on the court lifts the entire offense. Everyone knows when she's running the show, there's no room for mistakes. She injects urgency into every play, sharpness into every possession, and focus into every move. The game bent to her will, and soon enough, the defense made a critical error. They started guessing. And against Caitlin Clark, guessing is a recipe for a highlight. Real moment. She's already shown she can nail deep shots and slice defenses open with her passing. But this next play? It was pure artistry, built on footwork, feel, and flawless finesse.
Passing, and the way that makes her a threat from so many different places on the floor. Clark, little mid-range, is good.
With a slight hesitation and a subtle half-step, Caitlin threw in a quick head fake. Her defender took the bait, just enough. She read it instantly, planted her foot, and shifted direction. Suddenly, the space she wanted opened up perfectly. It wasn't a flashy crossover or a viral move. That's what made it so impressive. It was smooth, precise, and showed how refined her game has become. Caitlin doesn't need to dribble extra times or overcomplicate things. She creates just enough space, rises up, and sinks the shot. This wasn't a reckless heat check. It was a calculated, rhythmic strike delivered right on cue. By the time the defender could recover, the ball was already swishing through the net. Now, with both her outside shooting and mid-range game clicking, the defense had a real problem, but Caitlin wasn't finished making her point. As the second quarter wound down, the score was still tight, but momentum was shifting. You could feel it in the arena. The crowd wasn't just watching, they were waiting for that moment to crack the game wide open, that signature play that turns a solid half into a powerful statement. Caitlin had been commanding the court all along, directing teammates, carving out space, hitting key shots. But what came next wasn't just about skill, it was about timing. And timing, that's always been one of her deadliest weapons.
Screen set by Aaliyah Boston. That's a tough shot.
With the shot clock ticking down and defenders closing fast, Caitlin pulled up well beyond the arc and drained it. No hesitation, just pure, unshakable confidence. A three-point bomb right before halftime, the kind of shot that flips momentum and shakes a defense to its core. But it wasn't just the distance that made the shot special, it was the moment. It sent a clear message to the opposing team and everyone watching. No matter how tight the game, Caitlin Clark can change everything in an instant. She walked off the court at halftime not only as the best player on the floor, but as the one fully in control of the moment. Yet, as strong as the first half was, everything shifted after the break. The game turned more physical, emotions ran hotter, and then came the play that set the arena and the league on fire. A foul, a flashpoint, and the revival of one of the WNBA's fiercest rivalries. The tension between Caitlin and Angel Reese had been simmering all night. When the second half started, it didn't take long for it to boil over, but this time, Caitlin wasn't on the receiving end. Midway through a tense sequence, she chased down Reese on a drive and threw down a hard foul that grabbed everyone's attention. The referees called it a flagrant. The crowd exploded. Social media lit up. Just like that, the rivalry was alive and burning hotter than ever.
Caitlin Clark in the aftermath.
Everyone in the arena had to know this foul was coming. As soon as you saw Angel Reese wide open, you knew that Caitlin Clark was going to come in and take that.
This wasn't reckless. It was raw emotion, fierce competition, and a clear message all wrapped into one play. For months, Caitlin had taken hits, both on the court and off, from veterans, fans, and the media. But now, in her second season, she wasn't just taking punches anymore. She was throwing a few back. That foul spoke louder than any press conference ever could. It said, "I'm not backing down. I'm done playing the nice rookie role. If you want to get physical, I'm ready." And the best part? She didn't lose her cool. Moments after the flagrant, she was right back in her groove, applying pressure like only she knows how, putting the other team on full display and into her personal highlight reel. If the flagrant foul grabbed the headlines, what Caitlin did next reminded everyone why she's still the most dangerous player on the court. Some players let heat-filled moments get the best of them. They force shots or lose control. Not Caitlin. She channeled that fire, turning it into fuel for her very next move.
Special, what's different?
Yeah, just trying to play the right way. Just trying to impact winning the right way. I think over the last couple of years and having some experience losing, maybe want to win.
After a strong screen from her teammate, Caitlin stepped into open space. The defense was just a step too slow, and that was all she needed. Her shot was deep, her form flawless, and the message was loud and clear, while everyone else was still. Reacting to the flagrant, Caitlin had already moved on. She wasn't stuck in the moment. She was writing the next chapter. Being emotional is one thing, but being efficient? That's a whole different level. This was the response of someone who's not just fighting back, but doing it on her own terms. Not with panic, but with calm precision. That poise keeps the scoreboard ticking and the story shifting. With the defense stretched again, Caitlin returned to breaking them down, this time with a move that had a little extra flair. Her deep shooting had the defenders on edge, and with tension still thick from earlier, she didn't hesitate. She shifted gears, because when defenders press up to take away her outside shot, that's when Caitlin shows what else she's got. On the next possession, she stayed patient, sizing up her defender. She kept her dribble alive, waited for the slightest lean, and then struck. A quick hesitation, a subtle shift in pace, and the defender was already off balance. Caitlin rose up with total control, took the mid-range shot in stride, and buried it. On the surface, it looked simple, but behind that smooth shot lies elite mechanics and perfect timing. This wasn't just a flashy move, it was a reminder. Caitlin Clark is dangerous from every angle. Take away the three-pointer shot, she'll blow past you off the dribble. Take away the drive, she'll stop on a dime and knock down that in-between jumper. And when the defense can't decide what to guard, that's when Caitlin's court vision kicks in, opening passing lanes and controlling the play. By now, defenders were on their heels. They'd seen the deep threes, felt the mid-range hits. They chased her through screens, closed out harder, trying to force tough shots, but that's exactly the trap. When you overcommit to stopping Caitlin's scoring, you leave yourself wide open to something even worse, her passing. Because Caitlin doesn't just spot the open player. She reads the next rotation, predicts the defensive gamble, and sees angles most point guards never notice, until it's already too late.
Here's Clark spinning, bouncing, what a find, and Howard lays.
As the defense closed in on her drive, Caitlin threaded a pinpoint pass right through two defenders, landing perfectly in her teammates' hands. It was a pass full of precision, rhythm, and perfect timing. This wasn't a safe pass. It wasn't even a typical one. It was the kind of pass you only make when you trust your instincts, your timing, and your control. And that's exactly what makes Caitlin so tough to guard. You can take away one part of her game, maybe two, but she'll just switch gears to whatever you leave open. She scores when she wants, and she facilitates when she wants to remind you she's also a floor general. Caitlin Clark isn't just running the offense, she's redefining how it flows. The next play was a perfect example. She grabbed a rebound, pushed the pace, and set the tone on both ends of the floor. Scoring and passing may grab the headlines, but games are won with hustle, grit, and those tough moments when stars do the dirty work. In this game, Caitlin Clark wasn't just lighting up the box score, she was checking every single box.